By the way,
Hey,
I'm
Bang,
back.
can you hear us?
Yeah, I made a terrible mistake.
Uh-oh.
I
We noticed.
forgot to join the voice, so none of that
Yep.
ever got recorded.
Oh, we noticed.
We
So,
noticed.
It's okay.
let's
We
do a
haven't
quick
gotten
summary
very
then.
far.
Yeah,
At least of what's happened.
yeah, a quick verbal recap for, I guess, the recording.
All right, we interrogated the was a cheetah, right? Who was the person that got scared into passing out. I learned a little bit more, just a few more names about
The Fire Strike Gang.
Fire Strike Gang. After that, we tried to camp out, and on watch, Tor noticed a stray beast of burden, but like the
Yeah, I
higher
think they're
end
called drays,
sort of
yeah.
beast of burden that had some. It was loaded up with someone's belongings, but had apparently strayed away from wherever it was supposed to be. And
Yep.
none of us were smart enough to figure out where it was supposed to be, so we just tied it up and finished camping out for the night. And now we are awake and realizing none of us are very good at navigating, and it's foggy, and so
And
maybe
I
you
believe
can
I
help
just
with that.
attempted to navigate, so let's see how that goes.
Yep.
You
Basically,
got
you're
a
out in the middle of
rainbow
a
at least.
field, and you're not sure where you are, and not sure where you should go to get back.
Mm-hmm. So this was an attempt to find north, and I believe we were north of the river to begin with. So if we go south enough, we should hit the river, and we could follow the river back to the town,
Okay.
at the very least.
Well, with 2 successes, you can, you can figure out where specifically north is and where you might be in relation to it. So you begin the trek back to Yuchin, and you're able to probably a little bit longer, like several hours extra, but you figure out the direction, you get back on the road, and you all kind of trudge back into the town. Very tired and a little worse for wear, but otherwise in one piece. So I'll put us on the new map here.
Okay. Tamara's first business is going to be dealing with the prisoners, getting them set up in the local jail, and then maybe figuring out what to do after that.
I guess if Tamara's
And
gonna
also
do that,
returning the
I'll,
local children too. So
Yeah,
maybe someone should happen to do that and get the package there. The children should know where it is.
Oh yeah, package. Yeah, I'll
So-
get package.
I'll carry the package and lead the children.
Well, they didn't have the package. They hid it at their mother's house and didn't bring it along. So I brought us to a new map. This is courtesy of Bane here. He did a great job, I think. But you'll have to kind of zoom all the way in a little bit. But if you can find the mayor's house, that's where everybody is. It's on the bottom half of the. There should be a little
I'll try
crowd of
to
people
focus
outside.
everybody. That do it?
Yep, that works for me.
Oh, I just got ripped through 3 walls.
So who's doing what specifically?
See, I'll be part of Team Returned Children, which I guess the tiger's coming along. Also,
And I was handling the prisoners myself.
Well, the town really doesn't have a jail or anything like that. It's too small. It's only about 200 people. So the best you probably got is somebody's basement somewhere.
Well, somebody's house that nobody's living in.
Right.
That too.
So for the time being, I'm probably just going to ask some guards to stay with me and the prisoners for the time being, and just try to settle that during the day. And work
Okay.
up to the basement when I settle on a strategy.
Okay. So you've got the mercenary, and then you've got Fang Jin, the leopard who spilled his guts, essentially. So If you look on the upper left part of this map, you'll see Motherly Ling. Her house and her kids are up there.
So yeah, that is where. Hold on, all the icons are so tiny. Um,
I see what you've done with your name, Griff. I will copy you.
Aha.
Handsome rogue.
I've got some hands.
Reminds me of like Strong Bad, the good dancer.
Hey, if we all get to pick our own titles.
Exactly. Okay, so it's Lu Wei and Sheng Lupo are the two that are going to be bringing the kids back.
Before we present them to their mother, I do want them to point out where they hid the package, just in case she takes them and decides to. I don't know what she's gonna do with her runaways, but I want to know where the package is before they're confined.
Put them in their rooms without any food for the night.
Well, Motherly Ling is overcome with joy to see her two children return to her, but they're in worse shape for wear. So she's concerned and outraged and smacks them upside the head. And's like, "What were you thinking?" She just, of course, goes on the angry mom tirade. But as for where they buried it in next to the hut there. There's a little, like right over there.
Then I will attempt to find it.
Okay, well, it's pretty easily found. The package itself is kind of your stereotypical brown paper package tied up with string. But they don't care. They'll let you take it and say, okay, do what you need to do.
All right, we don't know what's in this. The kids didn't know what was in this.
Nope, they didn't open it up, but they knew it must have been important.
All right, I'll the package, and I'm visited with help. I mean, I will do all of the carrying while the weasel just leads me back.
Should we open it?
Well, open it with the mayor.
Or now?
What are you saying?
Don't you want to know what's inside of it?
Yes, but Motherly Lake is right there.
Well, we can walk outside our home, but I want to know what's in it. It's a peek, and we can show the mayor.
Well, it's the sort of thing that you would have to unwrap it, essentially.
Well, then they'll know we looked.
Fine.
So, okay, so you do take it back in. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So your two colleagues bring back the package from the kid's house, or from the kid's garden rather. It's your brown paper package tied up with string. It looks kind of, your standard stereotypical parcel, but it's obvious that it's tied up in a way that you would know if it was tampered with. So, who wants to do the honors?
Well, let's set it down on the table.
Okay. So, Tamara, you unwrap it. Inside is like a wooden box, and you open it up, and it has more interesting plant life, shall we say, in it. You recognize you got a hit of Black Lotus off of Mad Peng first time. There's at least 2 more doses of that here, as well as 4 of some other plant. You should roll Mind and Academics if you want to try to determine what exact second substance.
Mind and academics, my favorite.
Do it.
Yes, if you can add Streetwise to it.
I don't know. Tamara's not a druggie.
I have a single success, so you get a bonus.
Okay, so you get a bonus D8. So Tamara, you want to roll another D8?
Let's give it a try. Ah,
Well, you do know at least initially. You can certainly roll it separately, Xing Lupo, if you want.
I rolled separately. I have 2 successes.
Oh, okay. So our dragon.
I don't know plants.
Okay, so our dragon friend recognized it as a narcotic as well. It's also called fly amagarak.
Spanish
It's essentially
fly.
hallucinogen.
Is it? What's it look like?
Fly agaric is a mushroom.
I was gonna say I think fly is usually a type of mushroom.
Yep. So it's there's at least 2 more hits of Black Lotus in here and 4 hits of fly agaric.
more drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody looking to have a party?
Not with a bunch of farmers.
Not in my home. My purely legitimate reign of must stay unsullied. Let's see. I don't think we know exactly who the package was from still, though, did we? Or was that from Fumai? And
No,
the
you're not sure. You're not sure where it came from, but you do know that Mad Peng wanted it.
But yeah, I think we can assume it was just a drug drop. The kids were going to be mules.
Yep. Well, with the gift of Streetwise, you know that Black Lotus is actually rather expensive. Fly agaric is not so much, but they're still very valuable. And it does list the amount in the book.
A fair bit, and of course the village could always use more for its coffers, and well, I could certainly afford to have a little more to pay you all with. But it is illegal.
So
And she just sort of closes the box at that statement.
to try and catch myself up here, the kids were given this package by somebody to deliver to, what's his name, Fang?
Yep, Mad Fang, the wolf that you killed.
Right, so...
I think maybe last time, when we were investigating, the kids were known to be hanging out with some other gang as well, weren't they?
Well,
Snow
that
leopards.
they were kind of getting in with bad crowds in general. You're not quite sure, but
Perhaps we could learn more from them at a later time, but it's not likely that they would have much in terms of solid names.
probably not. No, there's a lot of people that were kind of coming and going, at least for a while, while the villages were being called for people. So
Right, right. So then that leaves us to determine, at the very least, the fate of our prisoners.
yep. So what do you do with them?
The one leopard seems repentant, and I'm willing to perhaps give him a very light sentence of hard work for the season. After which, perhaps maybe I can give him other ways to amend his ways.
Did we
Perhaps he
already
can become a productive member of the village. Who knows?
did we already determine their Bisclave connection?
Yes, we did. Through the
I think it was
Panther,
just
who's
that,
the other one that we captured.
Yep.
Who seems like a bit of an asshole and perhaps a foreign agent at the same time.
Yeah.
And or working for foreign agents.
And what exactly was their connection again?
All we learned from him was that what's her name? The bad lady.
Fumai. Fumai is a smuggler who
he
works
implied
with...
that she basically smuggles in foreign arms and armor, which would explain why he has Bisclave armor.
And she operates nearby?
In the region, as far as I know.
How many other, I was going to air quotes here, places are nearby that could she operate from?
Well, she could be based off of the main city on the island, or she could be based off of the other main trade city where all the ships come in.
Or perhaps a hidden port of her own.
Right, or in a fortress somewhere definitely within this region, but you're just not specifically certain where.
Right. My question originates from the fact that aren't we fairly long upriver from the actual main port?
Yeah, it's several days' journey south.
Yeah, so I'd have to wonder why she'd be trafficking up this way if she wasn't headquartered somewhere up the river.
Well, we still don't know exactly who was delivering these in the first place. We just know that her gang was involved in the pickup.
Right, so possibly...
Or rather, her gang was on hire.
Right, so possibly this is the payoff for a delivery made, like they're buying arms and weapons for drugs, or vice versa. Like,
Well, if
hey,
we confiscated some arms and armor, then I'd be incredibly worried. I'd probably be going straight to the city at this point.
Well, what would you do?
Well, for the Panther, what should we do justice-wise?
carry him to the city.
Exactly. We don't have a means of, seeking out, administering justice properly down here. I don't have my book with me right now, so I don't know which laws he would be tried under. But I believe the spider does have the ability to eke out justice.
Well, she is the mayor. So
indeed, I do have authority here. What I choose probably goes.
Right, it depends on what you want to charge him with, and his social rank, I guess you could say.
What is his kind of social rank in this situation?
And again, we're not talking about the foreign national, right?
Well, yeah, there's two people there. There's the Panther, who's probably not native to this land, and then the other one is the Leopard, who I named there, who is.
By the way, crimes are listed on page 581 if you actually wanted to.
So as for
treason!
Yeah, you could certainly charge him of treason or assault.
Treason, assault, kidnapping.
Yeah.
Kidnapping's a pretty good one.
Drug trafficking.
Well, I mean, treason has the higher...
I mean, yeah, well, Yeah, you don't
Any
know
and all of the
specifically if he's
above.
trying to overthrow the
Treason might
government,
be-
but
I
yeah,
mean,
treason might be a bit of a
Being a foreigner and doing a crime is treasonous enough.
well, he's trafficking in foreign goods for the benefit
Undermining
of a
our
foreign national.
citizens, right there, treason.
I don't know anything about law, so I'm leaving this up to you.
Hey, I will
No, we
gladly
didn't catch
put
them- We
my.
didn't catch them trafficking anything. We just caught them with children.
Yeah, to be fair, they did argue against working for the Busclay.
well, the Panther guy didn't, or they didn't say they were working for the Bisclaver.
That's what I said. They argued against. They said, "I don't even know what that is. We got this armor from somebody else. We don't know anything." They were ignorant of the entire crime. Although, as we know, ignorance does not count.
Well,
There
either
are
way-
lesser punishments we can give them, which amount to, say, cutting off a finger or a hand and then letting them go.
Well, they never actually.
Well, kidnapping would be considered a woo crime. So, since at the very least, the leopard who was a part of that would have at least a 300 bukwan, since he's at the bottom of society, essentially. He'd have to pay that, and barring that, he might have to, have punishment through that.
Right. So the intention to just put him to labor in the town is probably enough for that.
Well, the woo methods, since it's the higher end crimes, is you can declaw, you can loss of a limb, loss of productive organ, agonizing death, tattooing.
Might
I
I,
mean, it's-
suggest replacing tattooing with branding?
Same
You
effect.
could also brand him, yeah.
Well, a brand won't disappear under a thick layer of fur, as it were. And it's much more obvious, I would think, on a furred creature.
Here's the thing: the tattooing is done on the head.
Yeah. It's usually
Brand him
tattooed
on the head, then.
the offender. Well, it says, is tattooed on the offender's forehead, cheek, then moving downward to other parts of the body.
Look, if this guy was already a rogue, I don't think he's gonna mind the tattoo.
Well, it basically means he won't be allowed into any civilized village.
And none of
Well,
these
the
guys
mayor-
were brawling types, so declawing is just a
The
large...
mayor is the one who gets to eke out justice here, so.
Yep. So, what is your decision?
Well, in hopes of not antagonizing possible future enemies too much yet, perhaps tattooing would be the most merciful option, and then banishing him, letting him find his own way back. And as for the leopard, I'll have him put to work for the season with the family of those children. I'm sure that she'll appreciate the extra help in the fields. After which, I can deal with him more generously from there.
Okay. Yeah, Feng Jin says, oh, thank you, Minister. You are so kind, and I thank you for making me aware of the sins that I've committed, and now I will learn from them and adopt a more true and righteous path.
I know you will show me that my trust is not misplaced. The offer only comes once.
So he is taken by your guards and shown where Motherly Ling's house is, and it's a little bit awkward probably, but yeah, he
Direct
picks up a hoe
repatriation.
and this criminal that tried to kidnap your kids, technically is now working at your house now.
Without supervision?
I will-
Motherly Ling does not trust him as far as she can throw him.
Oh yes,
I'm just
the
asking,
guards
are
will
you...
still basically take control of this, but yeah.
I just want to lean over to the mayor and say, the guards, you remember, were slacking off pretty hard?
Well, I hope you won't distract them again.
They were there before I got there.
The worst case scenario is that he decides to run away, and that probably won't harm anyone at all.
Just one last lean in. I don't think that's the worst case scenario.
Well, keep an eye on him then. That'll be your duty.
I don't
I
work here.
still have to return stolen property or lost property.
Literally just
I have
passing
a busy
through.
day ahead.
I don't work here.
Well, as for the narcotics, yeah, those are illegal anyway. But do any of you offhand know what the values of that might be?
Who here has streetwise?
I do. So mine and streetwise.
Yep.
A pretty penny.
Just one though.
A single success.
Okay. Well, a single success would give you kind of like a street value running price. But yeah, Black Lotus goes for 225 Buquan per hit. Fly Agaric is usually about 15.
We have 3 hits of
Yep.
Black Lotus total.
Yep, it's probably the most expensive and sought after narcotic. And you also know that it's very addictive, and depending on where it came from, it is produced in Zhonglao, but not in a whole lot in huge quantities. A good chunk of it actually is produced overseas.
Is it mostly
Foreigners
a,
with foreign armor with foreign drugs.
yeah, it's mostly a Calabrian drug, isn't it?
Yeah, or wherever the Jacobins come from.
It's the not the fantasy. It's the recreation of the Americans bringing in, what was it?
Tobacco?
No,
Opium?
opium. That was it. The opium.
Well, opium is produced in great quantities in Zhonglao.
Oh, okay. I
That
thought it
you'd
was
be-
the turnabout where the Americans like fought wars in Japan and everything for the opium wars, as it were.
You know, that's
The English fought wars in China to get China to buy opium so that they could keep buying lots and lots of tea because they can't get enough tea. So drug up an entire country.
Well, opium, yeah, like Zhonglao, yeah, a more locally produced narcotic would definitely be opium, but this is not local stuff.
Got it. Just trying to put my head into context.
That makes sense. But yes, in total, you're probably pushing around 800 Buquan or 800 denaries worth of stuff here.
A huge amount of cash, but again, terribly illegal.
That is a fact.
So I should hope, looking over at Lupo, that nobody learns that any of the money that you get for this comes back here. At all.
Well, where are you going to sell it?
I'm sure you could be very clever and find a way.
You could always sell it to
Well-
the remaining Flaming Fist gang members.
I don't know about that.
Oh, here's some convenient drugs you ordered that you didn't get. Hey, you want to buy them?
Well, you know that they need them and they don't have them anymore. Why don't you sell it back to them? The longer you wait, the more desperate they're probably going to get.
We don't know where to find them. Is the thing.
Well, there's a couple of the members here in town you could ask.
And we did fight and kill some of them just very recently.
Like, so long as they haven't run away in the last hour, I think they'll be here.
Well, that's a good point. I don't know about. I guess it's a plan.
Alright, let me get this straight. What you're probably going to be doing here is you're going to contact the Flaming Fist gang and tell them, hey, we got the drugs that you wanted. We want in on the deal. From now on, you have to deal with us because we have authority here. Basically, it's a shakedown.
I would very much like not for our city not to become the center of some drug trade.
Okay.
I was simply recommending getting rid of it in some productive manner.
I am just trying to figure out the mystery of this Flaming Fist gang, so anytime we could get into contact with them would help.
That's true. That is a goal of ours, is to look into it. But I don't know if selling them back their drugs is the...
Well, we don't have to say this. Hey, this is the drugs you were supposed to be getting. We just happen to have it. We just happen to have drugs, and we thought you might want to buy.
It could lure them back out if we wanted to learn more. That's for sure.
Well, the leopard that's working with Mama Li Ling is actually he's a member of the Flaming Fist gang. So he was one of the gang members.
Wait, what is the mystery of them, by the way? I don't know anything about them that's mysterious.
Well, you can, as far as a goal goes, you can uncover or eliminate the Fire Strike gang.
Oh, uncover or eliminate. Okay.
Yep.
I thought it was just to figure them out. I was like, well, I think we got them figured out. All right, eliminate. That changes everything.
Well, I'm sure we could march out there again, but you saw how well we kept track of ourselves last time.
Lu Wei did perfectly fine.
We ended up lost.
We all just stand behind Lu Wei.
And
I'm a city cat.
Punches everyone.
Oh no, the punching, yes, he did wonderful there.
Well,
and
we do want to go out
to
with this gang. But if we're gonna eliminate them, I feel like we're gonna get their money anyway. But we could use this as a prop.
Yeah, a lure.
Well, this is how you get to go. Well, see, here's the thing: we have their stuff, but they don't know we took it from them. We could just pretend to be the people that they were going
Well,
to
actually,
get
they
from.
might know we took it from them because some people did get away from that fight.
Hold on a second. I want Lu Wei to dress up as a child because they expected children to be delivering the package. Lu Wei dressed up as a child. I'm here with your stuff, sir.
Oh, that's a great mental image. Be right back, though.
So we do also have the additional mystery of the missing, what was the animal's name again?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
We have about the donkey lizard.
Yeah, the Dre, it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dre.
When we were inspecting that, Julong was chilling. Maybe he could help, because I imagine... Bane, you have academics?
Yeah, it's my primary skill.
So do I.
Yeah, so maybe he can figure out who this...
Yeah, the animal is branded. You might be able to do a mind and academics roll to determine if you can figure out the brand.
There's one success.
Well, you kind of rack your brain and you think, well, that's probably the brand of a farm or somebody further, closer to the mountains. So basically further upstream.
So we went in the wrong direction.
Well, that does give us an excuse to return to the area and perhaps continue pursuing the gang.
I mean, I know you already started giving the leopard his punishment, but can you just snatch him and have him guide us to where his gang
I'm sure we could definitely do that as part of all this.
No, that can be his penance. He helps us,
I already meted out the punishment, but we do need the information, so I will ask for his help.
So what are you asking him specifically?
If he will come with us and guide us to where the, sorry, gotta keep looking at the name of it now, the Fire Strike gang is, because we'll be heading back towards the mountains.
He says, oh, yeah, I can certainly kind of show you the way there. It's pretty dangerous to go full front, though. I mean, I can certainly lead you to where we were supposed to meet up after everything was successful, and from there on, where to go.
How big is your gang?
Well, he stops and he thinks, let's see, there's this group and that group. 55?
Oddly accurate. So maybe not this plan.
And then he thinks for a second. Oh yeah, and those extra mercenaries that Jan the Ugly brought in. There's 20 of them.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys. But there's different groups. Are there different camps?
Well, he says, yeah, everything's led by Sung Wai. He's the leader. His lady friend, who's the second, her name's Shu Mei, and there were previously two other, I guess, lieutenants, Mad Peng and Yan the Ugly, but you killed Mad Peng. And then there's the leader of the mercenary group. I haven't seen him, though. I don't know where he is. And then there's the 55 or so members of the gang itself.
It's a lot. I guess let's focus on the Drake for now. Well,
I suppose you can also add, if you wanted to do two goals as well, you could eliminate or deal with the mercenaries too, as a second goal.
Oh, those are different.
Yeah, that's maybe more digestible.
Well, the Fire Strike
Group to
gang is
start
the mercenaries is a second. So yeah, you could do both of those: eliminate or uncover the Fire Strike gang, and eliminate or uncover the mercenary gang is the second goal too.
Eliminate the mercenaries really easy just by hiring them. They cease to become a problem the moment they're under our employ.
Depends on how.
Hey, here's some very rare and expensive drugs. You could sell that in exchange as the money value that we would owe you.
Potentially.
So how many mercenaries are there?
20?
20?
Yeah, I suppose that 55
Wow,
is actually part mercenary right now, isn't it?
Well, there's 55 of the gang members, and now there's 20 additional mercenaries.
Okay,
But
so 20.
I mean, if you didn't let the other guy go, there would have been 19. But I assume you're going through with the tattoo his forehead and let him go thing.
For the time being, it seems.
Okay.
It is a lot. There's 4 of us. There's maybe a handful of villagers I would really want to rally for this kind of mission. And far too many of them.
Well, you could probably muster in total 10 guards.
As Storm probably remembers, I'm a big fan of movie plots. And no, it's not the Weekend at Bernie's plan, Storm. How you all familiar with this really old movie? That's a Spider-Man reference. Three Amigos.
Yes. Back when Chevy Chase was funny. Wait, what?
My suggestion might be, we do know they have connections in town. Perhaps we could uncover those first.
This town?
Indeed.
They have connections here?
I think that was the underlying assumption, wasn't it?
Well, I mean,
Well,
That's why
yeah.
that's how the kids got involved, that's how they came here.
wouldn't that mean Mother What's-Her-Name is involved?
I don't think she was involved.
Because, otherwise it's just like guys propositioning kids on the outskirts of town.
Well, that's what I was saying.
That is what it sounds
Well,
like.
don't
It sounds
you
like the
think?
kids were hanging out with the
A
rough
couple of
crowd.
foreigners come by and tell the kids to hold on to a package and they just do it?
Well, the whole story was, there's gangsters and gangs and people being bad and that sort of thing. There was a group of leopards, various groups, maybe, you're not sure, who were trying to get the twins, Hong and Lin, into the Flaming Strike gang. and they were amenable to that. They were given a task to bring a package to Mad Peng, but they thought, well, let's hide the package and still show up because we're stupid, and he was going apeshit on them.
Right.
But the leopards
So-
don't live here, right?
Well, Motherly Ling is a leopard. So is her
no,
family.
the leopards that were involving the kids, they don't live here.
You're not sure, maybe. Probably not, but you don't know.
Oh, well, I suppose that's why we could simply figure that out a little bit.
Talk to the kids
Okay.
again.
Okay, so you're gonna go
See-
chat with Hong and Lin again?
I think that's probably a decent place to start.
Okay. So you go back to Motherly Ling's house, and she's still yelling at them, essentially. They're both injured, so they're taking it easy and like inside the house, but they're on punishment. So so you just ask them, do you know if the who you spoke to? What are you asking?
Yes, if I could just borrow these two for a moment. So, who exactly did you speak to? Did they live in town, or were they passing through? Who gave you the package in the first place?
Well, Hong stops and thinks and says, well, I guess it started with there was a woodcutter's cousin who would occasionally come by, and they would all, get drunk together. And after a while, the woodcutter's cousin would invite us to go to the party too. And then, he brought some of his friends along with, and we started hanging out with them. And the next thing they know, they asked, hey, you want to not be a farmer and not have to do this crap and want to hang out with us? And I thought, yeah, it seemed like a great idea. And they said, okay, but you got to do something for us. You have to deliver a package. Lynn thought it was smarter just to keep it and, say that, oh, we lost it or something, and then we would keep whatever they wanted. And
So this woodcutter, would I happen to know who he is?
Are
there many woodcutters in town?
Yeah, there's a handful, but yeah, you probably know the individual they're talking about.
Alright, so perhaps if we really wanted to follow up about this, maybe we should go talk to him next.
Okay,
He would be the next closest relation.
sure. So, I guess let's just say the woodcutter's name is like Shu Ming or something like that. But yeah, you know where he lives. He's a hardworking fellow, but he also likes to drink. And yeah, if you ask him about his cousin.
Oh yes, I'll sit down, just have like a polite chat, and just kind of go, oh, and about your cousin, please.
He
I heard
kind of
some- Yes.
Yeah, he kind of goes, oh, yeah, he's kind of up to no good. I don't know anything about, what he does. He comes by, shares some wealth, and we all have a good time, but I don't know what he does, and I don't want to know what he does.
I definitely know that he probably knows what he does, but the question that I want to get to, at least in my mind, is how much of this woodcutter, how much is he actually in on it? Or is he literally just, he's my cousin, he comes here, and I just try to accept what I get?
That would be a mind and inquiry.
Oh, I still don't have inquiry. I wish someone did. Does anyone actually?
I don't think anybody does.
Oh,
Orf's
man.
character would if he was here.
or we need to get here. Why is he still on vacation? Hey, one success.
Well, with one success,
I have a single rank in inquiry, so I could help, but I'm only rolling 2d4.
Right, not necessarily any better here.
Not a huge
Still,
chance
if I
to
make
crit
a
fail,
success,
though.
it's a d8 for you, so I could try.
Is
Well,
the one success
Let's see what the one
not
success
enough to
gets
get
me at
a
the very
general
least.
idea?
Hold on, is Streetwise applicable here?
yeah, I would say so.
Okay, then I'm rolling good enough, then I'll help.
Let's see the money.
2 successes.
Nice.
From
Okay.
my D4s, no less. You get a bonus D8.
Hooray. Which comes up to... still just only one.
Well, yeah, he seems to be telling the truth. He probably looks the way on some things, you think, but as to whether he's an active gang member or not, you're not sure.
Right. So Tamara will just sort of nod her head a little bit and go, yes, I understand. Though, perhaps I'd appreciate it if you were to tell me the next time he and his friends were in town, as it were.
He
You wouldn't
kind
have
of,
to know where if they go anywhere else while they're in town, would you?
I guess so. Is they in some kind of trouble or something?
Perhaps not yet, but I worry what trouble they might bring. I'm sure you must have heard that Mother had lost her 2 children very recently. We had to go out and rescue them.
Oh, I see. Well, sounds to me like they were hanging with a bad bunch, if you ask me.
Quite true, quite true. But I hope that we don't have to deal too harshly with the bad bunch.
Okay.
So I'm trying to keep a closer eye in town, if you understand.
No, that's yeah. I will let you know if I hear from them.
I see. I thank you for all of your assistance. Alright. So, I believe with that... Anyone else got any other ideas?
Not very bright.
Well,
No.
we can investigate the dray. And that will at least
yes.
take us back in the area that we know these gangs operate. So these things might not be disconnected.
Well, here's the thing. The Dre was branded, wasn't that? Or
Yes.
marked?
Yep, it was branded.
Do we know the brand's ownership?
Well,
Well, it's probably
thinks it's probably from a farm farther upriver toward the mountains.
yeah, like the next major little village up in the mountains is called Tangwan. It's probably from there.
How far is
How
that village?
That's probably at least 2 more days journey from here.
Well, if we have no reason to go there, I say finders keepers.
Well, we do have a bit of a reason to go there if we wanted to confront the
I
gang,
mean, it might
or
be
perhaps
not
look in
a bad
closer.
place to investigate, but maybe we can leave the dray here because none of us can drive it.
I
Very
think
well.
perhaps we can... Well, we do need to guide it out there at the very least. Somehow.
Well, maybe like
I
later.
mean, we do have a mayor who could press one of the farmers to do it. and-
Oh, that I
That's
do.
true.
Hey, I bet there are intelligent people in this town who will listen to my authority and nobility and be more
yeah.
than willing to help out.
Sure, if you ask a peasant to, bring it out there, that'd be easily done.
Excellent. So we'll definitely go with them. So at the very least, I have an official reason to go there and do something, which is deliver this, see who it belongs to, and follow up on that. And I suppose while we're there, you 3 could spread out and see what else you can learn. Perhaps they have more intimate ties with the closer village. Or perhaps the village itself might be under some distress. Does this sound like a plan to everyone?
Well,
Works for me. I think that's fair to go investigate. Like, it's a very strange sight to find a wandering animal packed up with stuff and no one around looking
Well, if it escaped from a site to the, what do we say, north of the river? So,
Yep.
yeah, if it escaped from there and nobody's been able to come out to get it yet, it could just be wandering.
mm-hmm.
Not that
Very
unusual.
Also true.
Hence why it would be our good deed.
Right. I mean, we can all imagine the worst case scenarios. That guy was leading this thing along and died or was ambushed by highwaymen, but There's always the mundane answer to every solution as well.
Well, all the materials that he had, though, that he was carrying looked like somebody's stuff. Like if you were to pack up what's in your bedroom,
Right.
that's essentially what he had inside it.
But it wasn't taken, and somebody that was after you or was trying to steal stuff from you wouldn't just let your pack mule go, or sorry, your pack dray
Sure.
go. They would take that.
That's also true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with going into investigating this thing. I don't know what the other half is found.
Yeah, I wanna investigate. At the very least, there might be a reward, and
So
he's more useful to me than a mule.
the question 2 is, what are you doing with the package?
Lupo, I leave that in your very capable hands to hide or get rid of in some way. As long as I do not have to see it again.
I guess I'll hold on to it for now.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, but we'll assume since you got back in, you're all pretty exhausted that you spend the day doing your thing and you rest.
Yeah,
So,
spend the day
be
here,
right
rest,
back.
handle business.
Eat.
Actually, really, I'm not terrible to have the prescribed things. I have both stealth and deceit, so
Yeah, just get a concealable spot on your person.
I'll wear my long coat and have it lined with drugs.
I say just wrap your concealable dagger with the prescribed weapon. I mean, with the prescribed
Hey
drugs.
kid, wanna buy some Black Lotus?
I was gonna say, we know there's a fence in town, but I think this is probably too rich for his blood. Maybe he'd buy the shrooms.
Is there a fence in town?
That's how we found out about some gang activity last session.
Did we?
Although I think only Liu Wei knows him.
Well, yeah, and you went with Lu Wei on that one, didn't you?
I think so, yes.
Because I remember you two were going back and forth together, and I think I stayed with the mayor. So that works. That's why I don't remember in character, because I don't remember out of character. So what was the other half that you were suggesting, Mayor?
Other half the plan while we go out there?
You suggested the investigating the Dre, but you were also suggesting something else?
Yes. While we're there, we could investigate the Fire Strike gang, their connection with the village, or if maybe they're harassing or taking slaves from the village.
Where exactly did you find the Dre?
We found it on our way, back from the ambush site, which was towards the north, towards the
Okay,
Fire
and
Strike.
back.
And what direction was it going in?
It was probably wandering, lost, and not really in any particular direction, I'd suppose.
But for sake of like spatial, it's probably halfway between this town and that one.
Right, no,
Because
I'm saying which way was the Dre going? Like, you didn't check for tracks or anything?
It was a bit of the middle of the night.
None
And
of you
only one
have
was
night
had
vision?
night vision.
Nope,
Or-
we are all terrible.
Torches?
Well, the Lu Wei did, but he was the one who found it. And he also got the group lost.
It's fair.
So,
But yeah, it just seemed like it kind of had wandered out toward where we had set up camp.
No, I understand. I'm just trying to figure out the best exact way of figuring out exactly where it came from, and tracks seem to be the best idea in my head.
Well, I mean, we looked at the brand and we know where it's from now.
Generally,
Yeah.
the idea was from, not exactly where it's from.
None of us have tracking, as far as I know. So
no.
not our strong suit. None of us have tracking. Searching, I think, is also limited.
Look, if it's not written in a book, or itself supernatural, I am bad.
Well, so the goal is ultimately to travel to the next town over, correct?
Seems so.
Okay, so we'll switch over to the road map.
Wait, real quick. Who is the mayor going to leave in charge while they're gone?
Presumably whoever I left in charge last time.
Who was that?
Uh,
I mean, you talked to somebody before you left last time. I remember you did that.
Yeah, I talked to my servants, passed message on to the guards, just, oh, I'm going away for a while, do your patrols, stay alert, etc.
Do you have a captain of the guard?
Do I, actually? Most of them are probably just individuals who do this on their time off.
Yeah, I'd say you probably do have a captain of the guard. Probably who's like a full-time ex-soldier or something like that.
hmm
But yeah, it's fair to assume that you have one.
Okay, so then he's probably the one who's actually in charge while I'm away. So, I just inform him, tell him, I'll be gone this long, and then I'll be back. Simple trip. In and out. 5-minute adventure.
How long do we
Okay.
estimate it's going to take to get to the next town?
It's probably
2
going to be a
days.
couple-day journey, yeah.
So I've bought food to that extent.
For all of us?
Also, we determined our entire party is carnivores.
I have food for 4 days. That's there and back again for myself.
I'm
Indeed.
an omnivore.
None of us have any survival capabilities, I think.
Oh,
Nope.
well, then I guess you can have plants if you really want
Yeah,
to.
I could literally eat off the side of the road. I mean, I prefer meat.
It's also better to travel with meat because it's more space efficient.
Yeah, you can dehydrate it too.
So yeah, I'll load up on. I'm gonna load up on. Like
Into the meat wagon.
5 days worth of meat. So we have. No, you know what? A week's worth of meat. It's better to have too much than not enough.
We'll make money out of this eventually, I swear. And Tamara will, for story's sake, bring along a nice little bottle of rice wine as a present to whatever mayor is in the town. In the village ahead.
Okay. And I suppose at this point, since you're going on the road, I rolled a 3 there, so the weather actually starts to get rather cloudy and it begins to rain a little bit.
Umbrella.
Oh, you'd think I'd be able to see this coming.
Yeah,
My
but it,
weather sense.
oh yes, do a weather sense. Actually, you would probably be best suited to determine what's
that-
around the bend.
With mind.
Mind and weather sense, if you got it.
1 success.
Okay, with 1 success, you're thinking it's probably going to start getting worse, probably in the next 6 hours. So light drizzle to probably steady rain.
Like a downpour, a monsoon, or just like a normal steady rain?
Normal steady rain.
How much of a concern would catching a cold be?
Unless you're soaking wet, probably not too bad. It's probably going to slow you down a lot, but it's not like it's not flooding the road out or anything by that. It's just not so fun to deal with.
It's gonna be raining some pretty steadily, guys, coming up soon. I don't know if you want to take cover and wait for it to pass, or if you guys just want to trudge on through.
We could probably set up a little bit of shelter on the side of the road and just weather it out.
How long are we going to have to endure?